All right. So I'm with Death Mantra, thrash metal band here from Gallup, New Mexico. Thanks, you guys, for joining me. Would you guys give yourselves some introduction to listeners?
Thanks for having us. My name is Jaymz. I'm the lead singer and the vocalist of the band.
I'm Garrett. I am the drums of the band.
I am Zane. I play bass.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys, for talking with me. I've been a listener of Death Mantra for about the past year or two, and congrats on releasing the recent CD, Mantras of Death.
Thank you. It was fun to make, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of going back just to kind of how you guys started and your background. Where are you guys originally from?
If we all had to say it, if you're from Gallup, but individually, we're all from the reservation. Gary and I are from Twin Lakes.
And I'm from Coyote Canyon.
Okay, perfect. I understand you guys are kind of based out of Gallup right now.
Yeah.
Cool. And how did you guys get involved with playing music?
Well, it goes back to an early age. I think it all started with me. My dad, Derwin Morgan, was in a couple bands here. The earliest I can remember was Chemical, and that was him with David Cruz, Dave Silva, and I forget the drummer's name. I think his name was Richie DeLue, but they made Chemical. They did a handful of shows, and I ended up having to just kind of begging my mom to go with him because I just wanted to get out of the house or something, or I just wanted to be a part of what was going on. And he took me with him to a practice, and I didn't know what to expect. All he told me was that it was going to be loud, and I might not like it. But he said they were going to be playing music on the radio and stuff, so I was kind of okay. We got there and they were doing cover songs, but hearing just that open E, on distortion, that loud, it was just maybe 11 or 10 years old. I was kind of just taken by that. And I think from there that kind of got me, but I was more the drummer just because I wasn't able to really kind of sit still, or it was just naughty. I don't know. But I ended up picking up some drumsticks. The guy that they were practicing at, he was in a hogan. He was a white guy who had a hogan, and he made jewelry there. And I remember finding a pair of sticks behind all the amps and whatnot. He was sitting at his jewelry table, and I started just tapping shit. Pretty soon I'm banging on everything. They got mad, but they were just let him play, So they put me on the drums, and I remember my dad was playing, I think it was You Got Another Thing Coming or Breaking the Law. It was real simple. He just said, just tap it, hit it, we'll play. So he did. And that's when I wanted to be a drummer. From there, my journey, I was with my dad at every practice, every show, pretty much. I was his roadie. That was my foot in everything, where I got to meet a lot of Ernie and when he was still doing Glani and Sleep Tastes Pretty and all of that, and kind of a lot of the old school bands like Sacred Blood, Tribus, and Razzle. This was probably early 2000s, and it's pretty cool just kind of going to all these makeshift parties that they would throw up, where it was just basically an extension cord to someone's sheep corral or sheep camp or wherever, and it would just play out there, and it was fun. And it was kind of weird because Grandma would be looking right next there, after the amps, there's sound guy, and she's flapping bread for everybody and making money that way. Those are memories from when I was small, and then coming up into it at the same time, I playing drums when I could. All the local guys that my dad played with, like LJ from Cemetery, and then of course Distorted Ritual. My dad was the lead guitarist in that band. That band started with Wolf Watchman. My dad, of course, Norman was there, and then there was a guy named Woogie. I did not know his real name, but they made Distorted Ritual, at least that first round of it. The second round came Emery Nez, and that was the lineup for the longest time, and then Wolf left. Mike came in. Mike Green, he played a few shows with them.
So it sounds like you were exposed to it,
Oh yeah,
at a young age.
Very young age. All these guys had an impact on me. They either showed me some cool stuff, and it was cool. A lot of these guys were cool enough to show me some cool shit along the way.
Yeah.
But you fast forward amongst all that, the history, you get to when Mike finally left, and I get to play drums, and they needed a drummer. I just happened to be there. They ordered me a drum set. I put it together. I learned it. I played it in 2 weeks or so, and I was jamming with them on my shows. From there, it just kind of like I got addicted to jamming. Every weekend I was gone. Pretty soon I met another band called Dismay, and I was jamming with those guys. And then I moved on to Malicious Plague. I was jamming with those guys for a while. And then I got tired of it all because there wasn't any bands around here that I liked. There was there are good bands around here, don't get me wrong, but there was nobody like just outright heavy and aggressive, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I set out to make. And I went and I bought my guitar and I played it. And I was just so dead on, like, I'm not going to fucking do any covers. I'm not going to learn Metallica. I'm not going to do Megadeth or Slayer. And everything I did was just kind of self-taught. Just what my dad showed me was just those power chords, you know. So you can do a lot with these. And I did.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, that's cool. You kind of ran through pretty much a history of like from when you were exposed to how you got Death Mantra going. How about you, Garrett and Zane? How'd you guys get involved in playing music?
Musically, it started off when I was a kid. My mom used to play, you know, a lot of music, hair metal mainly, with stuff like Poison, Motley Crue, White Snake, Dawkins, stuff like that. And then every now and then, you know, she added in some stuff like Ozzy Osbourne or Metallica, Anthrax, Iron Maiden or Sabbath or something. And you know, that was my introduction into heavy metal, into some heavy stuff. And as far as getting into drums, you know, that was a whole different story, because I was just 15, 16 years old, just coming home from school, and I remember just chilling out in the room. I forgot what I was doing, but anyway, Jaymz comes in. He just straight up asked me like, "Hey, you know, can you be my drummer?" And for like maybe the first few weeks, I just kept saying no. It was like constantly, every day, every chance he got, he just kept telling me. I was pissing him off too. He was getting mad, like all red. It's like no. To the fact, and then finally, you know, he didn't ask me anymore. He just basically he handed me the stage and just said, "You're my drummer." And I just said okay, and I just told him like I don't know how to play anything, and he just showed me a simple rock beat, you know, kick, snare, and the hi-hat, you know, stuff like AC/DC, you know, that simple stuff. That's right. AC/DC. That's right. And after that, I took it from there, and it just kind of evolved into something else. I don't know. I really wouldn't say what my style is, or even if I have a style, but I would assume it's basic. It's basic playing, but you know, that's how I got into drums, and you know, how into Death Mantra and all that. Yeah.
How'd you get into music, Zane?
How I got into music? Well, my brother kind of introduced me some Iron Maiden, some Megadeth, and some Black Sabbath. Iron Maiden kind of really pushed me into metal for a while, but I kind of got really interested into the punk scene later on, and through some homies that kind of took me to some shows here and there on the res and stuff, through like some house gigs. I can remember how I got into Death Mantra was probably going to school at Tallahatchie. I really didn't know the scene around here that much. I was just like really coming back into the scene in this area, and I guess one day this guy Garrett, the drummer Garrett, he was trying to sell some tickets, and he was telling me there was a show here at Jagganaw, and I was really interested. There's a D.R.I. show. It was like really surprising how the show was, how much energy. Death Mantra was to me. I was really surprised because I came in as a fan. I really never heard of Death Mantra, but that night when I heard them, I was just really blown away.
Awesome. What year would you say Death Mantra officially started?
Officially, I'd say probably 2015, late 2014, early 2015. Took us about a year. Everything started like in the summer, so like, how many years are like crossed, but definitely 2013, I believe, is when I kind of was like, yeah, let's do it. And I did. I started it just as myself. And like Gary said, I recruited him into it. And my dad was a bass player at the time. And it was just us three for a while. And then Dwayne Mileto came in, and that was the lineup, classic lineup, or whatever. But yeah, 2015 is when we recorded the demo, so I guess that would make it official.
Okay. And you kind of talked about the bands that you were exposed to and a part of. As far as the metal scene in Gallup, how would you kind of describe it? Because it's pretty, to me, it's kind of like pretty strong. There's a lot of really, really badass bands from around here.
I think the scene is like just a time bomb. And I say that in a good way because a lot of, like you said, a lot of these bands here are talented and they're really good, but the crowd support don't know it. But the only time they do is when these bigger bands come around, you know, like Soulfly and the Fear Factory. Then you kind of get a glimpse into those bands. But those are the same bands that have been playing for a long time, you know. And they're newer bands that are hungry too, that want to try it, you know. They want to get up on that stage, and I'm sure everyone's looking at it now, and I hope nobody, like during the COVID or anything, you know, that break took time. We certainly did, and we were just like, let's record an album, you know. And now I think after the album came out, and what Dom from Funeral Relic told me was to start working on the next one, and I'm like, I've been riff crazy since. So
Nice. Yeah, what are some bands now that you would like recommend listeners check out from this area?
I would say the Mommy Milkers, War Motor, of course, always War Motor, Shatter Remain, Creeping Puppets. I believe they're Born in Winter. So Funeral Relic from Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
All you guys mentioned are pretty badass and cool. There's a bunch more, but off the top of my head, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then you guys released the demo, you said in 2015. Was there another release after that demo? Or, because I know the Mantras of Death just came out, but was there a release in between the demo and the recent one?
I don't believe so. No, it was just that demo, and just maybe some cell phone recordings and like maybe a tape.
Maybe there might be lost recordings out there, but if our memory serves us correct, I'm not too sure.
Okay. You mentioned the Mantras of Death. The latest release was recorded during the pandemic.
It was planned to. Well, no.
No, it was originally supposed to be recorded in 2020. We started about, January?
Yeah, we started pre-production December, January, and we were going to hit it, but
then March came around, and that's when the whole COVID exploded, and then that took its toll on everyone and everywhere.
And that pushed everything back until about, I would say, November. But throughout that time, we were talking, and we started, we were coming in, like, every now and again, when they lifted restrictions enough, you know, they're like, 6 people or whatever, and we'd come in and we'd lay the guitar tracks down or whatever throughout the whole thing. That was pre-production, I guess you could say, through everything in COVID, but I think we officially started
in February of 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with all of that, all that recording, man, there was just like a lot of stuff coming up, you know, personal things and everything. And it almost seemed, I don't know, just personally, I think it's a lot of things kind of kept this album from coming out. It just seemed like, even toward the end, right, when we were like going to order the CDs and replacing everything, and everything was just kind of like bugging, you know, nothing was working properly. And what the heck? And then finally it would work after like I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Frustrating, and it was just kind of weird.
Yeah. Who? You understand you guys recorded it here at the Juggernaut.
Yes.
Did you guys do like a self production and doing all the editing?
Well, we had Cody Kelly in here, the guy that was up front. He came in, he did the mixing and everything with us, and some editing. But for the majority of the part of it, there was Gary and I and Zane sitting in here pressing record while one of us was either riffing it out or drumming or whatever. But a lot of the, I guess the editing part with the computer science or whatever all came from Cody Kelly and Ernie.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's awesome. And you mentioned the artwork right there. Who did the artwork?
That was a guy named Vic Vegas,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't met the guy. We all want to get a CD to him and be like, hey, dude, use your art, we use your art, artwork for our album.
Yeah, I like. It's like Southwestern style. I don't know, almost like Mexican style, like the way it was painted with the skull. It's pretty cool.
I just thought I just looked at it, I just thought, I'll just make a cool album cover. Because we were looking for an album cover at the time, and I was just like, I don't want to be so like elaborate and hire somebody. And I was just like, that was cool.
Yeah, nice. And then you guys did the release show on March 26th. Was that something you guys just put together, or was there like a promoter behind it, or?
We put it together with Ernie Santiago. He was the promoter of the whole thing. Majority of it was, he gave us a venue. Place to perform. He gave us, he's the one that gave us the opportunity to record. He said, he was saying that, we deserved to at least record it, so we did. And he gave us the place to do a show and everything, and a lot of it is credited to him. We probably wouldn't have had the show or too much,
Yeah, it's cool. That was the first time I seen Funeral Relic. I saw Shadow Remain and War Motor before, but yeah, Funeral Relic ever.
Torture Victor, old band Torture Victim.
Oh, okay.
Laterists, and now they've reborn Funeral Relic, and I was fuck yeah, I was like ready to throw my armor's table over, just getting a bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And you guys have any shows coming up?
The 420 show here at the Juggernaut, and then we also have one on May 17th for D.R.I. here at the Juggernaut as well.
Awesome. And I hope everyone gets a chance to check it out. How can people find the Monsters of Death album?
We're on all platforms. Some of them haven't even heard of. YouTube, there's Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, even old Napster. If you want to rip our music off, you can go over there.
Yeah, can people order CDs or physical copies?
Yeah, you can go through the juglife.com website here for the Juggernaut, or you can go through CD Baby. You can order physical ones if you're not able to get it from us directly, or you can message us directly and we can send it out to you.
Awesome. What's the response been like? Have you kind of heard feedback from people, or?
It's been tripped out, actually. We've gotten, I think, 2 days, a day after the show, we got an email from a guy in Poland, and he ordered 10 CDs, and we shipped it out, and after that, we got another email from a guy in Japan at Rockstack Records. I think that's it. He ordered 6 CDs, and we sent that out today, so the response is pretty cool. We had some orders go out we shipped some out to some bros, and, a couple people bought some stuff and sent them out, so it's been pretty, actually, honestly, kind of surprising the support that we got from the show. It was because I believe Gerald from I Don't Conform, I believe he's the one that was always, he said, that we've always been flown under the radar and always kind of the underdogs or overlooked as far as the band, but, I feel like the support that people came out, made me feel like, oh shit, people are actually kind of listening and they like our music enough to come out and buy a shirt. And that was cool.
Yeah, I was at the Soulfly show before and just saw that they had announcements for the release show. That's kind of how I found out about it.
Oh, nice. I'm glad I did that. They did that. Pretty badass.
Yeah. But yeah, I think those are most of my questions. as far as like closing remarks, any people you want to recognize?
Everybody that helped out here at the Juggernaut. Cody Kelly, Ernie Santiago, the bros at War Motor, my sister, Taylor, my girlfriend, especially because a lot of it, I'm always gone. Like, I'm never home. We have 3 cats, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Of course,
the old bros, from the past to now, and to the ones to the future, hopefully. To the fans,
Yeah, to all the people that take a listen, thank you for listening to our music.
Yeah. Anything from you, Zane?
No, man.
Okay, yeah. And then I always ask people, like, is there any bands that people should check out that you guys listen to?
Exodus.
Violence, they're making a comeback for sure, man. I knew it. I called it. And fucking Death Mantra. I heard they're pretty cool.
Death Mantra, they're pretty chill people.
Yeah.
I never heard of Death Mantra.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just listening to Death Mantra, you can definitely hear a lot of, like, Exodus. Mainly in the vocals, they kind of pick up a lot of, like, punk. A lot of the vocal delivery remind me of, like, Dave Mustaine. I don't know if you're a big Death fan.
Well, yeah, musically, early on, his technicality, especially those first 4 albums, man. Musically, I was like, that's kind of what I want, and that's fucking what I approached, but, I like Exodus just a little bit more, but I think lyrically, as far as delivering it and just how, no bullshit, just straight to the point, yeah, definitely Megadeth inspired as far as, like, just delivery, but it's funny you said Exodus and vocals, because a lot of people, especially if I do a real good Sousa, I could do a good Sousa, I think, but
not as good as
not as good as the band we're going to see on the 16th.
Or his boys, but,
Yeah, but definitely they're an inspiration for sure. And check out Hatred, his Sousa's boys band.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think a lot of people too, they say we sound like Sepultura, D.R.I, Slayer. Those are the main 3 I hear. Sepultura,
old
D.R.I,
school Metallica.
Slayer.
And all that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Cavalera show in Albuquerque with Max and Igor. Yeah, I'm like pumped for that.
It's just badass too that they just jumped on with Destruction and Nervosa.
Really?
Yeah, so you're gonna get Destruction, Sepultura, and Nervosa.
Wow.
But I gotta double check. But
Cool.
For sure though, that's what my lady was saying. I was like,
Nice.
yes,
Awesome. Yeah, I hope everyone gets to check that out.
for sure, man. Check out Destruction too. They're German band across seas.
Nice.
Along with Nervosa, Brazilian thrash metal band, all females.
Nice. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for talking to me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thanks. That was my talk with Death Mantra. I want to thank Jaymz, Gary, and Zane for taking the time to talk with me. And hope everyone gets a chance to check out their new album, Mantras of Death. You can stream it on pretty much all the streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, even YouTube. But yeah, be sure to follow them, support them. They have a Facebook you can follow for announcements, and be sure to check them out live coming up on April 20th at the 420 Fest at the Juggernaut in Gallup. Also, Death Mantra will be opening for the legendary D.R.I on May 17th at the Juggernaut in Gallup, New Mexico. They'll be playing alongside War Motor and Mommy Milkers, so be sure to check that out too. And be sure to follow the Juggernaut Facebook page for show announcements, and they also have a website, juggalight.com. And yeah, I'm going to play a song off of the new Death Mantra album, Mantras of Death. This is Locked and Loaded. There's also a pretty cool music video you can check out on YouTube. But yeah, after the song, it'll be the end of the podcast. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Go on it.